All right, guys, let's take a look at another Feynman TimeKeepers watch. Now, I had the Cove on not too long ago. This one is called One. It's the Feynman One. This is the Eclipse colorway. As you can see, it is a blue color. There are some other colorways. I think some are sold out. And before we get into it, I'm going to save some people the trouble before you go ahead and, complain that it's an expensive watch for what it is. I'm not sure why you're watching this. This is a higher priced, all one-off type components for a micro brand, so that drives the cost up. And we're going to get into some of those features, and you can make your own decision whether it's worth your hard-earned dollars to own something like this. But it's definitely unique and it is well crafted. So, but just to eliminate you wasting your time, the USD price on this conversion is about $1,000 US dollars. So there, if you can't handle that, just go watch another video. I'll have another video out soon anyway. So what we have here is a 39mm case. I measure lug to lug. Now they said 45, but I measure lug. When I measure all the way out to the ends. So this one all the way out to the ends is 47.5mm, but you can see they have a nice sharp turn down to them, fully polished, definitely a smudge magnet. I've tried to keep it wiped and reflective and everything like that, but at some point I just have to do the video on this. Smudges are the smudges. 12.5mm thick. Now that's including that slightly boxed, it's a flat sapphire crystal, but it's kind of boxed. It steps up off from the case a little bit. And a 20mm lug width here. You can see there's a lot going on with this case. I guess I don't know what to call it, but it has this pattern along the whole circumference of the watch, including in the lug relief. So it's the whole center case of it has that pattern. And then you have an offset crown, which would basically be almost true 4 o'clock. I think that's about as true as you can get. So a really nice offset of that crown. It is signed, and it has a really nice, fully, engraved. I don't want to say engraved. I don't know what you call it. There's no flat spots. It's fully chamfered and everything. So there's a ton of grip on it, even though it's not very big. And it's non-screw down. It's a 50-meter water resist. So you're going to be winding in that first position, and then you only have one position out. And you can set the time. It is a non-hacking movement. But, well, spoiler alert, it's a manual wind movement only. It's not an automatic. So, and it has a wonderful display case back here. I believe this is sapphire as well. But we'll talk about that in a moment. So I think we got all the measurements. It's 50 meters. The movement is it's an ETA 7001, basically 42-hour power reserve, all that good stuff. I'm trying to get some good lighting in here for the dial because it is a darker blue, but hopefully I can capture it. There it is a little bit. So you can see you have, the chapter ring inside there. You have the triangles and then the railroad track, and then at the 12 and then the 6, you're going to have Roman numerals for that. So that's how you're going to keep track of the hours and minutes. You can see a high polished silver steel handset with a blued center cap on there, so you don't see like a hole because there's no seconds there. The seconds is actually a sub dial over there, just off from the 7 o'clock range there. But you can see it's like such a layered dial. There's a lot going on depth-wise, but it's all very cleanly done. There's nothing like, pulling your attention necessarily. It's very cohesive, I guess. Another unique thing is the branding down there is like a molded out piece that is stuck to the dial and laser engraved, and it has a nice depth to it as well added on the dial there, and it clears the hands no problem. Actually, let's spin just for the heck of it, let's spin the minute hand over there just to see how close it is. Yeah, it totally clears it no problem. So tons of room. And then if we look at that beautiful movement, you can see 17 jewels, Swiss made. You have blued screws. You can see all the jewels, or some of the jewels. You can see that thing ticking away, living its life. You also have the branding underneath the sapphire, which is unique. So the sapphire is captured. I'll explain this construction. So the owner of the company told me it's basically a two-piece construction. It's constructed from the top side down. So I was a little confused when I looked at the screws on the back side. I'm like, yeah, but I should be able to take it apart here. I think all of that does is hold the display sapphire crystal to the metal here. So, and then those other 4 screws, I think, lock the movement holder down. So it is a top-down construction. So it's a little deceiving. This is actually just a retaining ring for the crystal, and then those screws underneath actually hold the movement or the movement holder in place once you set it from the top side down. So again, like I said, I have not handled another watch constructed this way. So that every time you go outside the norm or the, you forget about taking certainly off the shelf parts, but even if you're like operating within a certain parameter, that's how you help control cost. But when you go when you design a watch with your vision and then you basically say, build it to my spec, they can do that, but the price is going to go way up, and that's what's basically happened here. Now the strap is awesome too. This is my first exposure to, this is a real lizard strap. It has calf leather on the bottom side, so against the skin it's calf leather. But this is actually real lizard, and it feels awesome. It feels like it would last forever. I'm now very interested in seeing some more exotic materials for straps. Obviously, I'll do some homework before I go ahead and purchase any, because I know there are some potential controversy around certain materials used, especially when they're harvested from living creatures. So I don't know anything about lizards or harvesting their hides, but this is freaking cool. And obviously they color tone it, because there's a green one and I'll have a green strap. This one's a blue one, has a blue strap. I don't think this was a blue lizard. I think they colored it. So let me pop this guy on wrist real quick for you so you can get a look at it. I know I'm going crazy long on this, but this watch it's really cool. I get excited when I see something that is just definitely outside the norm. Really nice hardware on this. And again, I can't speak highly enough of this strap. And then the overall watch design and construction. So in this light, I know those hands disappear, but you get it out in natural light and you can totally see them. They're very, very reflective. It's just, I'm in my studio here with the studio lights, and I can't really nail it down with some watches. But it wears great on my 7 1/4 wrist. You certainly could wear it with a smaller wrist easily. I think it would wear down to 6 1/2, 6 3/4, no problem. Especially with an offset crown. There's no hot spots. And there is no lume on this. I did test it beforehand, so I'm not going to close you out with a lume shot. Basically, that's it, guys. Let me know what you think. Hopefully, you guys like it, because I dig it. It's different. I dig it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.